Welcome, everyone, to the February 20th Slate Preview. NBA All-Star break is over. I got a couple drawings to do, but we're going to push those to tomorrow. So you got one last crack to get in. Please subscribe, like, and leave the Brooklyn net that you think scores the most fantasy points along with your Fantasy Cruncher username. Eligible to win a free week of Fantasy Cruncher Pro. I'll draw a bunch of them tomorrow. I know I'm behind. Just a little bit running behind schedule today. So we'll do those bad boys tomorrow when I get this video out as fast as I can. And it didn't help that the first time I did it, didn't have the mic turned on. So the good news is I've got everything I want to say in consolidated form. So let's just get cracking. Milwaukee, kind of straightforward. You kind of know what you're going to get with this team. Brook Lopez had a couple good games before the break, but one involved 3 steals and 4 blocks. That's not going to happen a whole lot. But you know, with Milwaukee, you can play them. The prices aren't insane for any of these guys. Just gotta know if the game rolls out, they're not going to play full minutes. So they're probably not going to win a slate unless it's a close game. But I like them. I think they're all fairly priced. Detroit. So Luke Kennard's still out. Reggie Jackson got a buyout. He's going to be on the Clippers. That opens up point guard, which you would assume goes to Bruce Brown. And we have so far in the early projections done the same. But Dwayne Casey came out and said it won't be Bruce Brown. They're going to start someone else at point guard. He did mention Zvi might play a little point guard. I don't think that he meant starting point guard, but you never know. I'm expecting it to be Brandon Knight or Jordan Bone that draws this start. So we'll have to kind of see what Dwayne Casey decides to do. But I do think all these guys are decent value options. If whoever starts, it's probably the guy I want. Zvi, especially if he starts, loves to shoot threes, and against Milwaukee, you're going to get the attempts up at the very least. Christian Wood's probably too cheap at $6,900. Playing all the minutes he can handle here against a Bucks front court that can give up some points on the inside. So I don't mind Christian Wood either. That's a bit too cheap. But that's about it for me. I'm not going to touch Markieff Morris or any of those type of options for me. It's really just about who starts at point guard, Zvi, maybe Derrick Rose, but I think they're going to cut his minutes down the stretch. They just need him healthy. He's a good offseason trade chip if they don't want, but if they bring him back, he's under a good contract. No reason to let him get hurt. So I don't think they're going to run his minutes up at all. I think we're looking at a new point guard here, playing a good bulk of minutes here for Detroit. Okay, Miami and Atlanta. Miami favored by 6. This game just feels like it's a trap for the Miami side. So, they're healthy for the first time in a while. So looks like they're going to play 9 guys. Butler, Bam, Dragic, Crowder, Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Derek Jones Jr., Kelly Olynyk, and Andre Iguodala. I just don't see the ceiling here for any of these guys. Like, the price on Bam is really tempting. $7,800 for him is really cheap. But again, I mentioned this before the break. He's just not a guy that's put up 50-plus point games, and it's just tough at $7,800 to do that. Butler, the price is probably cheap on him, but are they really going to need him full game against Atlanta? Maybe. Maybe his usage goes down a little bit too. It's not quite as a injury-riddled team. So I just kind of am looking here, like, and I just don't really see anything that I'm like super attached to on this side. Like, I think the pricing is fair. If you wanted to play someone, I wouldn't blame you, but at first glance, there's just nothing here that really pops as kind of this must-have. And I also think Jimmy Butler would be pretty popular, too, at $7,900. I think if he was like $8,200, the ownership would be way lower than $7,900. And those are basically the same price. Atlanta, you really just got to see what the status on Herter and Hunter are. If Herter and Hunter are both out, Cam Reddish at $4,200 becomes one of the better plays on the slate. There'll be a lot of wing minutes available for him. If they end up playing, Hunter at 46, I guess, is a fine option, but I'm not running to play him. So I'm kind of just looking to see if Herter or Hunter are out. I'd like to get Cam Reddish in there. But that's really about it from this Atlanta team, playing a good Miami defense, healthy, rested. Not exactly the time you want to catch Miami. So for me, it's really just kind of an injury play here on Cam Reddish. But other than that, this isn't a game that I have a ton of interest in. All right, Brooklyn at Philly. So Philly, 215 total. This is the lowest total on the board. Philly 8-point favorites. The reason why I'm so attached to this game a little bit is the pricing is so cheap on these Brooklyn guys. Jarrett Allen, 5,100. Joe Harris, 4,900. Taurean Prince, 4,500. And look, I understand that this is a slow total. It's a slow-paced game. But if this game just gets a little faster than Vegas is projecting, these guys are going to kill this price. It's not very often in the what I would call the new pricing era of DraftKings, where you're going to get starters playing 30-ish minutes at below 5,000. It's just not something that they're willing to do. And for me, that just really makes these guys stand out, especially because they're most of them two-way guys. They're not just one-trick pony. Like Taurean Prince can get those defensive rebounds. And without Al Horford there, I think the Phillies going to end up playing a little faster than we think in that starting lineup. Adding an extra shooter. It looks like they're going to start with Korkmaz, but they're basically going to play a lot more 4 small looks and kind of just abandon the 2 big look they were going with most of the season. And if they do that, I just think it's a really good spot for the Nets. So I'm going to give a lot of consideration to Taurean Prince, Joe Harris, Jarrett Allen, even Karis LeVert at 6,700 and Spencer Dinwiddie at 73. I think this total's a little low, is basically what I'm getting to. I think this total's a little low. Based on where I think Philly's going to try to go moving forward. For Philly, they are fully healthy. I have my personal opinions on what they're going to do with their rotation. I think that Al Horford's going to be playing closer to 24 minutes a night coming off the bench. I think that's... I can't really see why they would play him off the bench to play him more minutes. Against a big team like the Clippers, they played him 28, but I don't think that's going to be a thing really moving forward. And Joel Embiid only played 28 too. That's definitely a factor. For me, it's really the guards. Burks, Robinson, Korkmaz, Richardson. Richardson at 42 is kind of just too cheap. He scares me. I'm worried about the usage with him, but 4,200 for Josh Richardson is probably too cheap, but he'll be insanely popular. If you're looking for a pivot to one of these other Philly guys, Korkmaz or Burks. But this is a team that's rotation. I can't really say I know. I can tell you what I think. I think that they're going to play more swingy type guys and really try to lock in on their defense. I think it's a good idea, especially while Embiid's playing through that broken pinky. I don't hate it, but I'm just not sure it's going to provide enough ceiling for everyone. So we'll have to see. But Richardson at 42, I think, will be one of the higher-owned players on the slate. Hard to really ignore him at that price, to be honest. As much as I would like to, I think that's one where I'm going to have to kind of just... Because, 4,200, like 30 points is 7x, 7x, 7x. Even 25 is 6. Jeez. These first couple games coming back from the injuries would scare me, but he was on a minutes limit, so... Yeah, I think it's kind of Richardson at this price as a play that you really can't ignore. Okay, Charlotte and Chicago. Charlotte is fully healthy coming off the break. So, you're really looking at P.J. Washington. Do you want to go down that bridge or not? He's absolutely hit or miss. He's got to really make a decision one way or another on him. He's not sexy, but he's cheap and has shown 35, 40-point ceiling. He absolutely can break a slate. Cody Zeller still only playing about 20-something minutes a night. They're really splitting those minutes between him and Hernan Gomez at this point. Even Bismack's getting some runs. So you really can't touch any of the centers against Chicago, which kind of sucks because that's really what you do want to attack. The guards for Charlotte, the pricing is all fair. Terry Rozier at 5,700 stands out as too cheap. But if Monk is going to really start playing more minutes moving forward, that definitely will lower the usage rate of Terry Rozier. So, I'm not going to be begging myself to play Terry Rozier, but I suspect my model will be very high on him, and I'm going to have to temper it down. Just knowing that with Malik Monk playing these extra minutes, that the usage isn't going to quite be what it's been earlier in the season. And that goes for Miles Bridges and Devontae Graham, too. Monk getting real minutes in this rotation definitely will be lowering the usage rate of all these other players. Good matchup against Chicago, though, I will say that, but the total's super low. And these teams earlier played an 86-79 game. Chicago, nothing really here I want to touch. Kobe White's going to start playing big minutes, you would imagine, in the second half. He started to do it right before the break. I can't blame you if you want to play Kobe White at 4,700 against Charlotte. They don't defend the guards well. I guess he's got the most ceiling of this 4,700 group. But if you're asking me Kobe White or Josh Richardson, it's Josh Richardson, and it's not very close, and both are shooting guard eligible. So, and there's some good star point guards in the last couple games that I really like. So I'm not sure if Kobe White will fit. It's probably the best of the plays here, but I just don't know from a lineup construction point how I'm going to fit Kobe White in. But Levine, 9,200, just too expensive for me. Satoransky, 5K, kind of has the same problem as Kobe White, just don't know how to fit him in. And Thad Young just doesn't really have a ceiling at this point in his career. All right, let's move on to the main events. Memphis at Sacramento. Memphis 1-point favorites here. I'm not quite sure what DraftKings was doing with the pricing on either side of this game. This is the game I think that provides the most obvious value here. So Memphis 230 total. Ja Morant 7,000. Jonas is 7,100. Dylan Brooks back to 5K. I haven't mentioned Dylan Brooks in a while. He got cold right before the break. I think this is a really nice time to hop back in on the Dylan Brooks train. 5,000. Don't mind D'Anthony Melton. Don't mind slow-mo. Although, I'm never a slow-mo fan, but I would understand if you want to do it. I wouldn't play Melton and Brooks together. I think if Brooks has one of his good games and gets back to 35 minutes a game, I definitely think you're going to see him get more minutes. But look, the shot attempts were there. He just was cold. What is that? That's 12 for... let's do some quick math here. That's 13, 5, 45. And that was 3 of 17 from 3. But look at this shot. The shot attempts were there. The usage didn't go anywhere. He just missed. And now we're going to get him back to the price point where I want to be rostering him. So I'm going to be in on Dylan Brooks in this spot against Sacramento for sure. One of my favorite cheaper plays on the board. Melton's the play if you don't think Brooks is going to get the minutes back or just has another bad game. I wouldn't play them together for sure. Definitely wouldn't do that. But other than that, Jaren Jackson Jr. has a ceiling, but Brandon Clark, if Jaren Jackson gets in foul trouble. But honestly, my favorite plays here are Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, and Jonas Valanciunas. Now, on the Sacramento side, the pricing's even more egregious. De'Aaron Fox is 7,400. I have absolutely no idea why De'Aaron Fox is only 7,400, but I'm perfectly willing to take advantage and find out. Again, just shot poorly before the break. Buddy Hield, I'm a big Buddy Hield guy. His price, Bjelica 5,900. This is a guy that was 7,000 plus just a couple weeks ago. Nothing's really changed here. Holmes and Bagley are still out. So I love this spot for sure. Bogdan Bogdanovic is starting, 4,900 for him. That's a value. So I really like this game. This is a game where I think most of my teams are going to have 4 or 5 players from this game. Now, there'll be some that have some from the next game as well. But this is a game that I think is my key game of the night. It's really going to be identifying the correct plays, getting the right combinations from this game in particular. I actually think the total might be a smidge low, too, here. So this is definitely a target game. Bazemore, too, kind of sneaky, 3,500. I don't think we'll need him because of some of the other spots, but the minutes were there before the break. He was kind of like the 6th man, and I'm not sure that's going to necessarily disappear. So Bazemore is a guy that I do have some interest in as a punt if you're playing the late slate or something like that. Houston, Golden State. Let's just start with Houston. We kind of know what we're getting at this point. Small ball. PJ Tucker playing center against Draymond and Marquise Chris. This is a good spot for rebounds. It's PJ Tucker. The shot attempts really aren't going to be there, so he's got to hit the 2 threes you get. But he's an option. I do think he can get closer to 10 rebounds here than maybe 4 or 5. Eric Gordon expected to return tonight. So we'll see if he plays. 3,900 for him, too cheap. But again, we have a lot of value on the slate. We don't necessarily need it. Westbrook 10-2. He's just been on fire recently. I wouldn't stop playing him at this price point, especially against the Warriors team that doesn't have much of a post presence. Definitely could see the triple-double here. Covington's a nice option. He's a little cheaper than I think he should be for playing 34 minutes against the Warriors. But again, you're going to need those turnovers. He had 7 blocks and steals. Really can't count on that. So he'll have to make some more shots to pay off this price. But it's cheap. Harden is Harden. He can definitely go off at any time. Don't hate him at 11-3. Don't mind playing them together. If I play them together, I'm definitely going to have a Warrior or two. But I do think that the prices on these guys are definitely in the perfectly fair and realistic range. Golden State, look, this is a team that's trying to lose. So I think what we're going to be looking at is a ton of Jordan Poole minutes, 4,000 for him. And he's just going to play 32 minutes and take shots. Is he good? No. Is he horrible? No. He's perfectly mediocre, which sometimes is not good because like a guy like Kai Bowman, you know is bad. You don't have to ever worry about playing him. A little more different with Poole. He's a little better than that, but he's definitely in the bad enough camp where he can really tank you. So, but I'm definitely going to have some of him on teams with Houston guys. But my favorite play in this game, Draymond Green, national TV game against Houston. These are the type of games he shows up in. I would expect him to play 33 minutes, put up about 36 to 40 fantasy points. Really like Draymond here, especially against a Rockets team that likes to shoot, extra rebounds available. So I like Draymond 6,500. Wish he was a little cheaper, but this price will work for me. And I'm just not going to touch Andrew Wiggins. I don't care how efficient he wants to try to pretend to be. We've been down this road before. Not doing that ever, ever, ever again. All right, that's not true. Maybe not ever, but it's going to be a while. So studs, top studs for me, Harden, Westbrook, I think are pretty clear above the rest in terms of the stars. I don't really think it's close. Giannis would probably be the next closest if you think that Detroit game stays close. In terms of top value plays, I have absolutely no idea why Shaq Harrison's popping the chart. That's probably a typo somewhere in the model. Josh Richardson, we talked about Covington, Tucker. So again, I think it's kind of those Dylan Brooks, Kobe White. So it's definitely those Houston, Memphis guys that we talked about. I think the Sacramento guys deserve some more love here. But those are definitely the top value options for today. All right, that's it. Really appreciate you guys tuning into the video. Please subscribe, like, and if you want to win a chance to win some free Fantasy Cruncher Pro, leave your Fantasy Cruncher username and the Brooklyn net you think that will score the most fantasy points in the comments section. And with that, guys, we'll be back every weekday moving forward rest of the way. So I'll see you tomorrow.